Imagine your cousin is a part of a show. You want to get on this show. You are scratching and clawing and doing everything you can. Your cousin's blocking you. You finally get on the show. You're on the show. You're in the intro. Okay? With a nameplate and everything. You are an official cast member, a main cast member. You're in the intro. You do all of that. Just for the very next season, they use you as the poster child. You and your shortcomings, your downfalls, allegedly. Okay? They use you to propel the season forward. Not because of something positive you're doing, but because of something negative. Damn, Kiki. Damn. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 16, Innocent Until Proven, Kiki. So y'all know I did Season 5. I think I did part of Season 4. I started with the beginning of this first part of Season 6. I don't really want to watch the Mel and Marcel divorce play out, with no accountability and all this other type of stuff. So I stopped recapping it. Did keep watching it, saw everything about the Espo and all that type of stuff. But I'm back now because the trailer for this second half of the season looked promising. Let's talk about what happened. So it starts off with Kiki. Okay, we see Kiki on Crime Stoppers. It is allegedly, because we saw the disclaimer at the end of the episode. As of publication, Kiki has not been charged with any crime. But we see on Crime Stoppers on the news down in Alabama, a woman was, they're looking for her. She was in the Home Depot. She stole something. I guess she was caught at the end, or they suspected her of stealing something. She gave a lock to a child, told the child to come on. As they're leaving the parking lot, almost hit two cars. A whole mess, y'all. A whole mess. That's what we start off with. Kiki just got on the show good. Kiki is just now able to dance in the intro. And y'all done made her the poster child for the second half of this season. You wanted to be on the show so bad, Kiki. Now look at you. So it starts off with Tiffany. So Melody is coming over Tiffany's house. Tiffany has had little baby Ace. He is adorable. Lots of hair. And if Melody's going to do one thing, she's going to come visit you and she's going to bring some food. So while Melody is eating, Tiffany is feeding the baby. Tiffany lets her know that she's the first to see her. Mel feels special because of that. Yada, yada, yada. So Tiffany immediately, Mel asked her, so how are you? What's going on? Tiffany was like, bump all that. We don't care about me. Did you see the news? Did you see Kiki? So she's being super messy, right? Talking about how this is going to affect their brand. Let me tell you this, Tiffany. Nothing that Kiki is doing outside of the show is going to affect your brand. The show in itself is affecting your brand. The show in itself. We have seen fight after fight on this show. We have seen people get cussed out. We have seen the worst of the worst from these people. And you are worried about Kiki allegedly stealing a lock from Home Depot. You think that is going to affect your brand? Not the fact that you are messy and you lie on here and you keep up shit and you do all that other stuff. That's not affecting your brand. Kiki stealing a lock, allegedly, is affecting your brand. Tiffany, go on somewhere with this. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Don't do this. So she's trying to be messy. Melody's giving her nothing. Melody said innocent until proven guilty. Tiffany said, but we all do things, but we don't break the law. Shut up, Tiffany. Shut up. Oh my God. Tiffany, this has nothing to do with your brand. Tiffany can talk about how this is affecting the brand as much as she wants to. It has zero to do with affecting the brand. I promise you, Tiffany, this is not going to affect anything with your business. Why would it? Melody tells her, look, if you're so worried about the brand, about your brand and how this is affecting your brand, don't be around Kiki. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. If you feel that Kiki is going to bring down your property value within yourself, don't be around her. Point blank, period. It's very, very simple. You don't be around Kiki that often anyways. Weren't you the one that said you didn't want to hang out with her? You didn't like her because you felt that she was not a loyal cousin to Letitia? You don't be around the lady anyways. What does it matter? Tiffany then records a video to invite people to the baby reveal for baby Ace called Breakfast with Tiffany. Cute name, yada, yada, yada. Boom. Tiffany was fishing for Melody to get messy in that moment, and Melody didn't. And Tiffany kept fishing and fishing and fishing till she finally gave up. So we have Courtney. Courtney pulls up on Marcel. Remember on the last episode before the little break that they had at the Expo, Marcel asked Stormy for $100. Stormy, I think Stormy overreacted in that moment. Marcel was an ass. Marcel shouldn't have done that. But I do think that Stormy overreacted in that moment. There is a way to handle that. That was not the way to handle it. Marcel was wrong. Absolutely. I think Stormy was wrong as well. But she put the bug in Courtney's ear that you need to go check him. Don't you want to say something to him? Don't you want to go tell him something? So Courtney pulls up on Marcel at Black. Courtney wants to know why Marcel confronted Stormy about the money when they never said anything about money before. Right? Which is what Stormy said as well. I think Stormy just took it a bit further. Stormy initially, when she was like, why are you asking me about the $100 now? Stormy was in the right then, but then it began to tank with all of that should have been avoided. None of that should have happened. Okay. So Marcel said that, well, it was listed on the website. It was on the World Wide Web. Courtney is like, why are you always coming for women? Why are you always in women's business? Well, he was like, you need to worry about your business. Marcel was like, well, the Expo was my business, so yeah. But it's kind of rich for you to say this when you are literally always in women's business because you sell hair care. And it's like, I was with Courtney. Marcel, you know good and goddamn well what that man is talking about, and it is not that. Courtney feels that Tisha should have come and talked to Stormy about the money. He feels that women talk to women, men talk to men. If that's how Courtney feels about that, that's fine. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there was just a proper time and place for that to happen. Marcel coming up to her while she's setting up and saying, oh, I didn't recognize you. You got that money, that $100, there's a fee, all of that. The way that was handled was terrible. I think Tisha coming up to her in that moment would be terrible as well. Tisha and Marcel should have been there. Well, it should have been discussed when they asked Stormy to do it. There is $100 fee. Stormy's setup was ridiculously big. Yes. But if y'all didn't tell her, y'all didn't give parameters, there was nobody there to do, to do spacing and sizing. Y'all, we doing, 5 by 5. Y'all weren't there to do that. So that's what happened. So Courtney then tells Marcel it's not even about the money. The money's not the issue is the principle. Courtney only had a little cup of water there. He gives the bartender $100 tip, I guess to show that he has money. I don't know if that's the flex that Courtney thought it was. To be honest, I mean, because at the end of the day, you're still giving Marcel the money. Hey. What do y'all feel about that? I mean, Courtney definitely put his dick on the table. Here, it ain't about the money, sir. It's not about the money. We can give y'all the money. Whatever. So then we have Kimmy going to Tisha and them little rental apartment. Or was it the townhouse? So, Tisha and them were in the house. They moved to the townhouse because they wanted to save money to build, what is it called? Scott Manor. But now they want to renovate the townhouse that they were in. So now they're in this other house. It's too many moving parts. Too much movement, too much movement. I saw on Twitter somebody said that they are now back into the house they were renovating, so that part is done. Y'all doing a lot. It's really giving Chateau Sheree. And y'all see how long it took Sheree to get that house done and to get that house on the show. Scott Manor has not even broken ground. So Kimmy asked her about it, was good with the house. Tisha said there's no timelines at all. Kimmy hit her with the infamous black, you better than me, which means that you stupid. That's what that means. In case you didn't know, in Blackanese, that means you dumb. Anytime somebody says you better than me, couldn't be me, if you like it, I love it, it's basically saying you stupid. You stupid. That's what it's given. So we find out that Kimmy is done with her cancer treatments. She's done with radiation, all the treatments. She just has a bunch of different doctor appointments. So good. Congratulations for Kimmy. Thankfully, it looks like the cancer treatments and stuff have been successful thus far. So kudos to Kimmy. Happy, super, super happy to hear that. So Tisha then starts talking about the little situation they had with Stormy and Tiffany when they met up to have a debrief of sorts after the Expo. And Tisha felt the way that Stormy was criticizing everything. Told her she's not in the comeback group. Y'all are not the comeback group. I don't know if y'all realize this, but y'all are not the comeback group anymore either. So Tisha says she still doesn't know what Tiffany does, and apparently Kimmy does not either. To my knowledge, from watching Tiffany on this show, I think Tiffany is a company or part of a company that raises funds, that raises money to help other companies or to save other companies. That's what I think Tiffany does. Now, I'm not sure if that is what venture capital is. I feel like it does. Let me do a quick Google search. No. So venture capital is a form of private equity and a type of finance that affects the providers or companies. Oh, maybe that is what Tiffany does. So Tiffany, so Tiffany looks like Tiffany is in venture capital. That's the business she works in. So, do we know what Tiffany does exactly on a day-to-day basis? 8:00, she's probably doing this, noon doing this. No, but I don't think it's hard to ascertain what she does in some vague capacity. They then talk about Kiki briefly. Tisha said she was getting a bunch of people calling her, girl, your cousin on the news. Imagine how embarrassing that is. I would be so embarrassed. Oh my God. So we get Chris Fletcher. Chris Fletcher is over at Marcel's rental house. Now, we saw a lot of this kind of play out on the blogs where Marcel is currently in one of Chris Fletcher's rental properties. So Chris is mad that him and his wife were subpoenaed by Marcel. He said that wasn't cool. He didn't know that he was going to get subpoenaed. He said it looks like they're taking sides. He is friends with both Melody and Marcel, doesn't want to be involved whatsoever. Marcel said it's not for you to pick sides, it's just for you to come and tell the truth about what you know. Here's the thing with that though. You have to let people know. I feel like it does look away. Whatever side subpoenas you, it does kind of look like we're trying to get you on my side. I just feel like Marcel and them should just, I don't know. That whole situation is tricky, it's sticky, it's messy. But you don't subpoena people that are supposed to be your friends and not tell them. I would be pissed as hell too. So Kristen tells him that the house is due to be sold, but you know that. Marcel was like, yeah, you told me like 30 days ago. You told me, you gave me a 30-day kind of notice. Chris said, and how long has it been? Marcel said it's been about 40 or so days. Chris said that the house has been on the market for 8 months. We have had this conversation. Martell expects Chris to talk to the owners of this house, the people that are getting ready to close on this house, or the people that are selling the house, to give him more time, and then say that the owners can't kick him out. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Chris reminds Martell that you are month to month. So I saw some people on Twitter saying that this probably isn't real and this is probably just a storyline. What I gather from this is that Chris Fletcher has a client that is using this as a rental house because they no longer want it to be a rental house and they want to fully sell it. That's what is happening. So Martell knew a while ago that the house was going to be up for sale. So what that tells me is Martell, were people not coming in to view the house? Like, I just have a lot of questions about why Martell is so shocked and confused about this. Why are you confused about all of this? So Kristen tells him, well, Martell is saying that he can't find anything in 30 days because Chris told him, you got to be out. You have to be out. So Chris said Martell feels that Chris doesn't care about him or his kids, yada, yada, yada. Martell said, but you know what? I found a property, but I need 90 days. And Chris told him, you got 2 weeks. 2 of them. 2 weeks before these people come and put you out. It is amazing how Martell likes to pull because we're friends. Because you're my friend, you should do this, that, and the other. Because you are his friend, Martell, you should not be trying to jeopardize his business, his reputation, his credentials, or his trust. I found this rental for you. That what you can do is be a man of your word and leave when you are supposed to. But you have known, if the house has been on the market for 8 months, you have had nothing but time, space, and opportunity to try to find other living accommodations for your kids. Talking about me and my kids are going to be in the hotel. No, your kids are going to be down to Melody's little mini mansion where they all got their own bedroom. They have somewhere to go. You don't. You don't. And let's be real, Martell, you can go on with your mama too. So let's not act like you have nowhere to go. Y'all are not going to be in a hotel, but you're going to get out these people's rental house. Is what you're going to do. We then get to this very ridiculous scene of Kimmy and Maurice. So they're out riding bikes. Kimmy's doctor told her to kind of help with the fatigue that she's experiencing. The best course of action is to get up, get active. That'll kind of break through that fatigue barrier. So Kimmy is telling Maurice that Marcel asked Stormy for money. Maurice is like, okay, we paid too. Kimmy said, why did we pay? Half the people that came didn't pay. Now, you can tell that Maurice is bothered by that, but because it's his dumbass brother, he's not going to say too much. He's not going to give too much. So he's like, oh, well, it's okay because we still gave the money to the community. Kimmy is now wondering, where did this money go? Said, Marcel and Tisha are being very coy. They're being very coy about the money. They're not saying too much about it. Where did the money go? Where is the money? Where's all this money that y'all had to ask people for $100 to set up booths? The expo was very unorganized. It just was. What we saw looked kind of, kosher, but overall, the more that they talk about it, the more that this sounds very, very, very unorganized. So they then talk about Kimmy's sex drive, and we keep getting this very tiring, ridiculous conversation where Maurice is clearly a sex addict and needs to go talk to a therapist to find, to get to the root of this. But Kimmy just got through double negative cancer. That was called triple negative. She got over cancer, a very tiring, strenuous disease that you do a more even tiring and strenuous treatment for. She's not trying to lay low and spread it wide for you 4 or 5 times a week like you want because you too lazy to go get yourself off, I guess. I don't know. So Kimmy is saying that it is from the medication. Maurice is saying that this is a mental thing. Tells her that physically everything works fine because you said that you were faking it. So like we know that it works because we've had sex. Kimmy said, yeah, but it would be nice to like be aroused and that kind of helps sex be more enjoyable. Maurice wants to know how long is it going to take for this to wear off. You read, you was reading in the book, hey, this is the effect and this is this and this is that, but you stopped reading before it told you how long it would take to get you back to where you ready to, fuck all the time, basically. For all intents and purposes. That's what Maurice is saying. So Kimmy was like, I did talk to the doctor. It can take up until a year. Maurice said that he's going to set an alarm on his watch. Just completely disgusting and immature. Maurice then goes on to say, Kimmy said that he's bordering on being an asshole right now. And Maurice looks kind of shocked. Am I? Really? What? So Maurice then said that he's being an ass because he hasn't gotten any ass. And Kimmy tells him that stuff like that is not helping. Here's the thing though, Kimmy. If Maurice is willing to talk to you like this when he knows the cameras are filming, it is imaginable what he's saying to you in the privacy of your bedroom. Maurice doesn't respect Kimmy. He doesn't. Your wife is battling cancer and you are still hounding her about having sex. Nigga, go and jack off. Like, what? I don't understand this. I don't want to keep hearing about this conversation because, like, this is silly. It's silly. It's also wild that Maurice doesn't have the awareness or the emotional intelligence to realize how stupid he sounds. It's more appalling that Kimmy is willing to be disrespected like this on camera. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is what is tanking the show. Carlos King sits and talks about everything that's wrong with Housewives of Atlanta, but then you're giving us these type of scenes. This is the best that you can do, Carlos. You can't get anything else about these people's lives. Why not show their businesses? No, you want to focus on the fact that Maurice is a Neanderthal, misogynistic ass jerk that expects his wife that is freshly recovering from cancer to want to fuck all the time. And then he degrades her and chastises her when she tells him that right now she can't from the medication. We then get Stormy and Courtney working at the warehouse. Once again, they fired Junior, her cousin. So they're doing the packaging themselves. And he tells her that, they're talking about him going to see Marcel. Stormy is shocked. Why? You told him to go talk to Marcel. You wanted him to. Why are you shocked that he went? Why are you shocked that he actually went? Nonetheless, Stormy said that they were charging people at the last minute after incurring some costs. She mentioned something about $10,000. So she's wondering, how much did they actually put in, if it's for the community, yada, yada, yada. It seems like everybody is still very confused, when it comes to the money part of this whole situation. And the last thing that anybody should ever want is for me to be throwing or hosting some type of event that I charge people for. I don't want people questioning, well, where is the money? What happened to the money? Tammy, what did you do with your portion? Like, that's the last thing anybody should want. So Stormy's telling Courtney that Tisha was talking to her about the situation. And she kind of reenacts how Marcel was talking to Tisha during the whole money conversation, where Tisha was on Stormy's side initially, which we know. And then eventually we see Marcel kind of talking to Tisha over to the side on some, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, so Stormy was like reenacting it. They then talk about Kiki, and they both feel that, Kiki is innocent until proven guilty. And Stormy says she's just gonna pray for her. Pray for her, Lord. We got to find out and get to the bottom of this. We got to get to the bottom of it. So then finally we get Melody going to visit Kiki. And Kiki said she's going out the hospital. Melody was like, the hospital? Because she said it so casually, right? I feel like I would have had the same, like, the hospital. So she said that she has back pain. She's been to the hospital twice in 1 week. Melody gives her a shirt, one of her shirts that's like push through when because God says so or something like that. Y'all know what Melody little shirts say. And Kiki is like, I need this because of all that's going on. And then we get this montage of Kiki just rambling, saying that, you know, she has speaking engagements and she's going to write a children's book, but she wants to write a book on poetry. The way Melody was, probably all of us looking at the screen like, girl, what? What? Melody said in her confessional that Kiki had on a shirt that said hot mess. She said that's clearly what she's going through in this moment because Claude have mercy. What was Kiki talking about? I'm not going to put nothing on nobody, but Kiki did seem a little irrational. But at the same time, I don't know Kiki. So that could just be how Kiki act too. I don't know. So Melody brings up the Crime Stopper stuff, and it ends on a cliffhanger with Kiki getting ready to say that it's not her. Now, look, y'all, that picture that they show, it does look like Kiki. However, it could have been that the news and the camera zoomed in on the wrong person. You know what I mean? If I'm walking in the store, right? Let's say I'm in the store and I have on Packer stuff. I'm in Wisconsin. Today, everybody has on Packer stuff, right? The Packers played today. If I'm in the store and the person next to me is another brown-skinned woman, okay, and she has on a Green Bay Packer shirt, and she puts something in her purse, and they're looking at the footage, and they're saying, that's the lady that stole something, right? Because that's the only picture that they posted of Kiki. So we didn't get no other footage of Kiki like actually outside in the car. For all we know, they zoomed in on the wrong person. I'm just trying to give Kiki the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I don't know that lady. I don't know if she stole anything. She hasn't been charged with anything, right? Like she's free to film this show. So that clearly means that they might have had the wrong person, but the implications that it was her, crazy. So, and as I told y'all before, they say that, you know, as of today, Kiki has not been charged with anything, blah, blah, blah. So let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Are y'all still watching the show? If you have not already, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.